All right, the Twins take on the Tigers game one. That's going to be a 1:10 Eastern first pitch. On Tuesday, May 31st, 2022, Minnesota's minus 145, totals 8.5. Devin Smeltzer for Minnesota, Ronnie Garcia for Detroit. And even though Garcia's looked real good in limited innings, the Tigers have had a real tough time at the dish. Matter of fact, these guys are dead last in the league in scoring, dead last in home runs. They're taking on a Minnesota pitching staff who's allowing under 3.8 runs per contest. And they actually rank in the top 5 in the league in that particular category I just mentioned. Devin Smeltzer also comes into today's ball game with a 1.04 ERA and a .81 WHIP. Meanwhile, offensively, the Twins have done a real nice job getting on base. They're currently in the top 10 in team batting average. They're led by Luis Arias, who's hitting .360 at the plate. Now, total-wise, Detroit's gone 7-3 to the under in their last 10 outings. They're also 64% to the under at Comerica Park. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota minus 145 and the under 8.5. Next ball game, Royals Guardians 6:10 p.m. East. Cleveland's minus 145, totals 9.5. Cal Quantrill for Cleveland, Daniel Lynch for Kansas City. Now, Danny Lynch has got himself a couple of wins on the year along with 37 strikeouts. The lefty also comes into today's contest with a sub-395 ERA. And even though the Royals haven't been all that great at the plate this year, they have done a pretty nice job of making contact. They're actually one of the better teams in the American League right now in offensive strikeouts at the plate. They're taking on a Cleveland squad who struggles hitting the baseball at home. As a matter of fact, they're arguably the worst offensive team at home in the majors right now. Now, pitching-wise, Cal Quantrill, he comes into today's ball game with a 1-3 record. When it comes to the total in this one, Cleveland saw their last 4 straight at home fall under the number. They're also 80% to the under in their last 10 at any location. I'm going to lean toward Kansas City plus $1.25 and the under 9.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Giants-Phillies, 6:45 East. Philadelphia's minus 130, totals 9. Ranger Suarez for the Titans, Jake Junis for San Francisco. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 3 out of the Giants' last 4 road games fell under the posted number. Matter of fact, the Giants are currently 13-10 to the under in all of their road games for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Phillies, on the other side of things, they've gone 64% to the under at Citizens Bank Park. And when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my extra daily bet on patreon.com/ProgPage. And if you want to access today's extra daily bet, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. And the link for that bet is in the description section below. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the under 9 runs in that ball game. Next matchup, Mariners O's 7:05 East. Baltimore's minus 130, totals 8 runs. Michael Baumann possible for Baltimore. George Kirby for Seattle. Now, Curbs is still looking for his first win of the season. Comes in today's ball game with a 4.50 ERA. The Mariners have also been terrible on the road this season. Out of their 26 away games, they got the W only 8 times. And they're also in the bottom 10 in road scoring. Now, they're taking on a Baltimore club on the other side of things, who actually plays their best baseball at home. Matter of fact, the O's have a winning record at Camden Yards, and they're currently in the top 10 in fewest runs allowed per game at home. Meanwhile, more recently, the Orioles got the W in 3 out of their last 5 ball games, 3 of those victories coming against the likes of Boston, and they actually scored 31 total runs in their last 5 outings. Now, total-wise, Baltimore's gone 15-8 to the under in their own stadium. They're also 64% to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Mariners have gone 60% to the under against American League opponents on the road. I'm going to lean toward Baltimore minus 130 in the under 8 runs. Next matchup, it is going to be Angels-Yankees, 7:05 East. The New York Yankees are minus 130, totals 8.5. Jordan Montgomery for New York, Noah Syndergaard for Los Angeles. Now, total-wise, the Angels have gone 14-7 to the over in their travels. They're also 70% to the over in their last 10 ball games at any location. Meanwhile, New York has averaged nearly 6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Los Angeles. And when it comes to selecting a winner, this game is being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on patreon.com/BrockPage. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the over 8.5 in that ball game. Next matchup, it is going to be White Sox, Blue Jays, 7:07 East. Toronto's minus 170, total 7.5. Kevin Gausman for Toronto, Lucas Giolito for Chicago. And as usual, no real surprise here. Strikeouts are still up for Giolito. The righty's got 51 strikeouts in just over 37 innings of work this year. He's also got a 3-1 record and a 2.63 ERA. Now, offensively at the plate, this White Sox lineup is one of the toughest to strike out in the league right now. They're actually in the top 5 in fewest strikeouts per 9 on the road. Of course, Tim Anderson, he's hitting .356 with 5 home runs and 19 RBI. Meanwhile, Luis Robert, he's got 6 home runs on the year and 17 RBI on the season. They're taking on a Toronto team who's had a tough time cashing in on the run line at home. Now, out of Toronto's 22 games at Rogers Place, they've cashed in on the run line only 8 times. And that's good for just 36% in that particular category. Now, the Blue Jays have also had a tough time scoring runs this year. They're currently in the bottom 10 in the league in runs per contest. Now, total-wise, Toronto's 16-6 to the under in their own building. Meanwhile, Chicago, on the other side of things, they've gone 14-8 to the under when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the White Sox plus 1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. Next contest I have for you, it is going to be Reds, Bo Sox, 7:10 p.m. East. Boston's minus 145, totals 8.5. Michael Wacha for Boston, Luis Castillo for Cincinnati. Now, Castillo's got just 1 win on the year, along with a 4.35 ERA. When it comes to the pitching in this one, the Reds are allowing more runs per contest on the road than any other team in the Bigs. And when it comes to offensive production in this one, the Reds have actually been equally as shitty hitting the baseball. They're currently in the bottom 5 in team batting average. They're taking on a Boston pitching staff who's done a real nice job in several different areas. Of course, one of them being opponents' batting average. Matter of fact, Boston is currently in the top 10 in opponents' team batting average. And they've got Michael Wacha on the mound here today, who's a perfect 3-0. Now, Wacha also has himself an ERA of just 2.83, along with a 1.09 whip. When it comes to hitting the baseball, J.D. Martinez, Rafael Devers, and Xander Bogaerts, they're all hitting well over 325 on the season. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Boston's last 7 at Fenway got over the number. As a matter of fact, Boston is currently 70% to the over in their last 10 outings at any location. Meanwhile, Cincinnati's currently 60% to the over for the entire year themselves. I'm going to lean toward Boston, minus 145, and the over 8.5. Next contest, Twins-Tigers, Game 2 of the doubleheader. That's going to be a 7:10 Eastern start time. Minnesota's minus 140, totals 9. Cole Sands for Minnesota, Joey Wentz for Detroit. And once again, guys, this Detroit team is struggling to put runners across the plate. They're averaging only 2.9 runs a game this year. They're actually dead last in homers per 9. Now, they're facing a Minnesota team who's got a winning record on the road. They're also led by Jorge Polanco, who's got 26 RBI on the season. Now, when it comes to the number in this one, the Tigers have averaged only 3.4 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Minnesota. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Twins, minus 140, and the under 9 runs in Game 2. Next contest, it is going to be Nationals Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. The Mets are minus 185, totals 9. Trevor Williams for New York, Patrick Corbin for Washington. Now Corbs is just 1-7 with a 6.30 ERA and a 1.66 WHIP. And even if he does have a good outing here today, the Nats have really struggled away from home this year. Washington's gotten the W in only 9 out of 23 road games. They're taking on a Mets club who has one of the toughest lineups in the game. These guys are currently in the top 3 in scoring, top 3 in OPS. Now Pete Alonso, he's second in the majors with 37 RBI. He's also in the top 5 in the bigs in home runs with 13 of them. Meanwhile, teammate Jeff McNeil, he's hitting .308 at the dish, along with 26 RBI. Now New York also has Trevor Williams on the bump here today, who's averaging a strikeout an inning. When it comes to the total in this one, the Mets are currently 16-9 to the over in Flushing, Queens. Meanwhile, the Nats are 74% to the over as the official road team. I'm going to lean toward the Mets minus 185 in the over 9 runs. Next matchup, it is going to be Padres Cardinals, 7:45 East. St. Louis is minus 130, totals 8.5. Adam Wainwright for St. Louis, Blake Snell for San Diego. Now when it comes to the scoring in this one, 8 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings got over the number. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around in this matchup here. Now the Pods are also 60% to the over as the official road team. Meanwhile, the Cards saw 68% of their ball games at Busch Stadium get over the total themselves. As far as selecting a winner, this game's being featured as my Major League Baseball tier package bet on patreon.com/BrockPage. As far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the over 8.5 in that ball game. Next contest, Brewers Cubs, 8:05 East. Milwaukee's minus 135, totals 9. Eric Lauer for Milwaukee, Justin Steele for Chicago. Now Steele's just 1-5 with a 5.40 ERA and a 1.60 WHIP. The Cubbies have also been terrible at Wrigley this season. They won only 7 out of 24 home games. They're currently in the bottom 5 in home strikeouts at the dish. They're taking on a Brewers pitching staff who leads the majors in striking batters out. As a matter of fact, Milwaukee's averaging nearly 10.5 strikeouts per contest. They also have Eric Lauer on the bump here today, who's been outstanding. He's 5-1 with a 2.31 ERA and a 1.01 WHIP. Now, Lauer's also struck out 55 batters in just over 46 innings of work. When it comes to offensive production in this one, the Brewers have hit a whole bunch of home runs this season. They're actually leading the bigs in home runs per contest. Rowdy Tellez has 10 home runs on the season. And of course, Willie Adames and Hunter Renfroe have 9 apiece themselves. When it comes to the number in this one, Milwaukee's 10-5 to the over in their divisional road games. Meanwhile, Chicago's 15-9 to the over in the friendly confines. I'm going to lean toward the Brewers minus $1.35 in the over 9 runs. Next contest, Rays Rangers, 8:05 East. Texas is minus 130, totals 8 runs. Martin Perez for Texas, Ryan Yarbrough for Tampa Bay. Now, Yarbs has just, it's not just 17 strikeouts. He does have 17 strikeouts in just over 20 innings of work. He also has a sub-4 ERA. The Rays also have themselves a winning record on the road this year. They currently lead the majors in fewest road hits allowed. They're taking on a Ranger squad who struggles getting on base themselves. They're currently in the bottom 10 in team batting average. And they're also in the bottom 10 in home hits. Now, total-wise, the Rangers are 60% to the under in their last 10 outings. I'm going to lean toward Tampa Bay, plus $1.10 in the under 8 runs. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Marlins Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Colorado's minus $1.25, totals 10. German Marquez for Colorado, Edward Cabrera for Miami. Now, Cabrera's making his 2022 debut here today. He is a career 0-3 in the bigs, along with a 5.81 ERA and a 1.63 WHIP. Marlins have also struggled away from South Beach this year. They've won only 9 out of 24 road games. They're also in the bottom 10 in road scoring at the plate. Now they're taking on a Colorado team who scores more runs at home than any other team in the Bigs. CJ Cron, he is currently hitting .307 with 13 home runs and 37 RBI. He's actually in the top 10 in the majors in home runs and runs batted in. Meanwhile, teammate Jose Iglesias is hitting .317 himself. When it comes to the pitching in this one, German Marquez still has 41 strikeouts despite a handful of bad outings. When it comes to the number, the Rockies have averaged a staggering 7.2 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Fish. Meanwhile, Miami's gone 60% to the over in their last 10 ball games themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Colorado Colorado minus $1.25 in the over 10 runs. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Astros, A's, 9:40 p.m. East. Houston's minus 130, total 6.5. Christian Javier for Houston, Frankie Montas for Oakland. Now, when it comes to the number in this one, the A's are 15 and 11 to the under at the Coliseum. Meanwhile, the Astros are currently 22 and 7 to the under in all of their road games. Now, that's good for 76% in that particular category. And when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game is being featured as my board member tier package bet on patreon.com/BrockPage. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the under 6.5 in that ball game. Next contest, Braves, Diamondbacks, 9:40 p.m. East. Atlanta's minus 155, totals 9.5. Charlie Morton for Atlanta, Humberto Castellanos for Arizona. And even though Berto's got 3 wins on the year, he's kind of gotten those wins ugly. He's currently got a 5.22 ERA right now, along with a 1.34 whip. D-backs also dropped 4 out of their last 5. And they have a losing record at Chase Field this year. Now, one of their major issues is their inability to get on base. D-backs are nearly dead last in the majors in team batting average. They're also in the bottom 3 in strikeouts at the dish. Now, they're taking on a Braves pitching staff who's in the top 5 in striking batters out themselves. Atlanta's also done a real nice job of keeping the ball inside of the park. Now, when it comes to offensive production, Austin Riley leads the club with 12 home runs. Of course, Marcell Ozuna, he's right behind him with 10. When it comes to the scoring in this one, Atlanta saw their last 3 straight road games fall under the posted total. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Arizona's 21 and 7 to the under at Chase Field. I'm going to lean toward Atlanta minus 155 and the under 9.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Pirates-Dodgers. That'll be a 10:10 Eastern first pitch. LA's minus 330, totals 8.5. Julio Urias for Los Angeles, Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. Now, Mitch has had a real rough go of things with Pittsburgh. He's just 1-5 with a 6.05 ERA and a 1.58 whip. And even if he does have a good game, the Pirates have one of the worst lineups in the National League. Pittsburgh scoring only 3.5 runs a game. And they're in the bottom 3 in team batting average. They're taking on Julio Urias today, who has a 2.49 ERA and a 1.06 whip. Meanwhile, offensively, the Dodgers have been incredibly difficult to get out. They're currently leading the league in scoring and OPS. Of course, Mookie Betts, he has an OPS of 1.006. The dude is just like awesome. This guy has been great for years. Betts, he's also hitting .304 with 15 home runs. Trey Turner, he's leading the organization right now in RBI with 39 of them. He's actually in the top 5 in baseball in that category. Now, total-wise, LA saw 7 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Pittsburgh fall under the number. Meanwhile, the Pirates are 70% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LA Dodgers minus 1.5 and the under 8.5 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Ride packages on that website starting at just $1.99. I like Minnesota minus 145, under 8.5 in game 1 of the doubleheader. Give me Kansas City plus $1.25, under 9.5 runs. I also like the under 9 in the Giants-Phillies game. Give me Baltimore minus 130, under 8. Give me the over 8.5 in the Angels-Yankees game. I like the White Sox plus 1.5, under 7.5. Give me Boston minus 145, over 8.5. I also like Minnesota minus 140 and the under 9 in game 2. Give me the Mets minus 185, over 9 runs. I also like the over 8.5 in the San Diego-St. Louis ball game. Give me Milwaukee minus 135, over 9 runs. I like the Tampa Bay Rays plus $1.10, under 8. I'm also leaning toward Colorado minus $1.25, over 10 runs. Give me the under 6.5 in the Houston-Oakland matchup. I also like Atlanta minus 155, under 9.5. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the LA Dodgers minus 1.5 and the under 8.5 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, a really important reminder here for you today, being the last day of the month. I always say this in every single video, but guys, if you do sign up for a package on Patreon, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on my website, you're only going to get 1 day of service, and then you're going to get billed again tomorrow. So you may want to think about holding off until Wednesday, until tomorrow, June 1st. That's when you're going to get your max value. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But guys, if you want to get access to every single bet that I give out on my website, you may want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. Not only do board members get access to the board member tier package bet itself, you actually get access to every single bet, every single package that I offer on that website. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.